Hi everyone, Radhe Radhe. In this video, we're going to be doing chapter 7, verse 19. And I think this chapter should be called Bhakti Yoga. I don't understand why it's called Jnana Vigyan. Jnana Vigyan means knowledge and realized knowledge. So intellectual knowledge from the brain and realized knowledge from the soul. It should be called Bhakti Yoga. It's all about Bhakti Yoga and Bhakti, and I love it. It's so beautiful, and these commentaries they're lighting me up. I'm loving reading these commentaries, and I'm just loving everything. Okay, so let's sing the verse together and let's get into it. Uh, Bahunam janmanamante ज्ञानवान् मां प्रपद्यते वासुदेवः सर्वमेति स महात्मा सुदुर्लभः. Okay. After many births and deaths, he who is actually in knowledge surrenders unto me, knowing me to be the cause of all causes and all that is. Such a great soul is very rare. Okay, I'm going to get into it because they've gotten into it. I'm going to just read through and this is so good. But let's do word by word first. Okay, Bahunam, many, Bahut is in Hindi, Bahunam, many, Janmanam, repeated births and deaths. So after many births and deaths, after Ante, Jnanavan, so one who is in full knowledge. Jnana is knowledge, Van probably is, I don't know. I'm wanting to say van, like a car, van, or something. Jnanavan. Okay. Unto me surrenders, prapadyate. So after many repeated births and deaths, one who is in full knowledge surrenders prapadyate unto me. We've seen the prapadyate word many times. Vasudeva, personality Krishna, basically. Sarvam, everything. So he's saying his own name here, Vasudeva. Sarvam, everything. So he's making it very clear, Krishna. He's saying Vasudeva, basically. He's not saying me as in whatever. So if there's any doubt at all in the mind of any impersonalist that Bhagwan Sri Krishna is talking about Krishna specifically, Vasudeva, then this should clear it all completely. Wow. Okay. Sarvam, everything. Iti, thus, saha, that, great soul, Mahatma, great soul, sudurlabha, very rare to see. So that after many repeated births and deaths, one who is in full knowledge surrenders unto me, and when to Krishna, to me, Krishna, sarvam, everything, surrenders basically everything unto me, and that great soul is very rare to see. Okay. Okay. Now for the commentaries. Okay. The living entity, while executing devotional service and or transcendental rituals after many births, may actually become situated in transcendental pure knowledge that that God is the ultimate goal of spiritual realization. Okay, so after many births, they may become situated in pure knowledge that God is the goal. In the beginning, when one is trying to give up attachment to materialism, there's some leaning towards impersonalism. But when one is further advanced, he can understand that there are activities in spiritual life and that these activities constitute devotional service. Realizing this, he becomes attached to God and surrenders. Then they realize that Krishna is the mercy and cause of all causes, and all the material manifestation is not independent. The material manifestation is his inferior energy, as we've seen in the past few verses, and it is a perverted reflection of the spiritual variegatedness. And so he realized that everything is Krishna's, basically, even the material stuff is Krishna's. So everything he thinks of is in relationship to Vasudeva or Krishna. Okay, so basically what I liked from here is that you can go towards, when you're going towards the path of knowledge, to become situated in knowledge, to become like fully situated in knowledge, you can go to the path of impersonalism. And then he says, one who is situated in knowledge then surrenders unto me. So even those who, it feels to me like what he's saying is that those who are going to the path of gyan or spiritual knowledge, they do eventually surrender unto to Krishna. They become bhaktas. Okay. um, yeah, and then here he talks about how Vishnu is everything, and and Krishna is everything basically, because Vishnu is an expansion of Krishna. Okay, so now here this one he's talking about. Okay. In this verse, Sri Krishna clears this common misperception of the intellectually inclined people that bhakti is inferior to gyan, because that's what the impersonalists say, right? They say bhakti is important. What I've heard Swami Sarvapriyanand say is that in order to gain attachment to God, okay, so there's this thing. You cannot gain attachment to God unless you've lost attachment to everything material, and you cannot lose attachment to everything material until you gain attachment to God. So there's a conundrum there in the impersonalist thing. And so what Swami Sarvapriyanand says is that the way to get out of this conundrum is to do bhakti, so that you can attach to God. And so bhakti is important for impersonalists as well. It's very crucial because of the to get out of this conundrum. So you have to attach to God, and then you can detach from the world. But then he says, then you become immersed, you become one with Brahman, and you become the gyan then takes over and it becomes superior. So now in this verse, what he's saying is that so those guys, impersonalists, basically are disdainful towards people engaged in devotion. They look down upon them and consider them to be superior as they're engaged in the brainy act of acquiring knowledge. But Sri Krishna here declares that a jnani spends several lifetimes cultivating knowledge, and only when his or her jnana is matures does he finally surrender to God. In fact, it is true knowledge that leads to devotion. Yeah, that is the beautiful thing. It is after many births of spiritual practice, one with true knowledge then surrenders unto me. So it leads to devotion. Now he gives the example of somebody, he picks up something, he thinks it's an artificial, he picks up an object and it's artificial jewelry worth something, and then somebody tells him that it's actually gold, it's worth like not $10 but $500, but then somebody else tells him, oh, it's got a diamond ring on it, so it's actually worth $50,000. So the more he understands the value of the thing. I mean, he picked up that thing and he didn't know the value of it, but when he understands the value of it, then he loves it more, right? Because it is very valuable. So it's the same thing. The relationship between knowledge and love, um, when you have the knowledge of what this thing is, when you have the knowledge of the value, then your love for it also increases. So you need the knowledge in order to value it. You need knowledge is necessary for us to be able to understand, so that we feel attached to it, so that we want it, right? Without knowledge there cannot be faith. Without faith love cannot grow. This is in Ramayana. So if someone has acquired true knowledge and claims to know the Brahman, then love comes to him naturally, else their knowledge is merely theoretical. Okay. Yeah, that's it. So I love this is a verse that I want to remember. Even 18 I want to remember, and 19 I want to remember. I probably want to remember chapter 7, the whole thing. I'm doing chapter 3 as my project of becoming an expert at chapter 3, and it's going beautifully. I'm absolutely loving that project, and I'm feeling more and more certain. I mean, I don't know if I want to do a future chapter instead, but at least until now, the next chapter I want to do after 3, whenever I'm ready, is chapter 7. And the future chapters might end up being even more beautiful. I don't know, but this one is it's blown me away. So, so, so nice. Okay, wish you a day filled with lots and lots of spiritual growth. Radhe Radhe.